Hello, hello, and welcome to Front Row Vendors Podcast. I am your host, Autumn, and I have got an awesome lady here today. Her name's Maliquea Stars, who's the certified wedding planner turned venue owner over in Winston Salem. And I had the privilege to actually work with her and actually be at her venue at Muse at the Mill. And it is phenomenal. And the fact that her personality along with it's an awesome combination. It's a deathly combination because of the fact that you just don't have to worry about anything when it comes to her. So I'm just going to get right into it with her. And hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm
Not
so
too
excited to
bad.
be here. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for that sweet introduction. You are just one of those people that, like, when you meet your friends, you're like, all right, we are friends. You are my new best bud. Like, when I met you, I was just like, oh my gosh, she's great. So thank
I
you so
love
much
you.
for
You're so
having
sweet.
me. Oh, thank you.
I
I
have
really
to say one
appreciate
more time too, because her glasses, if you guys aren't watching the video, her
it.
glasses are by far the most cutest glasses I've ever seen. And I've got like I've got 10 pairs and I go on Zenny Optical. But now that you talked about yours, with you being the only one who has your pair, like that's pretty awesome.
Oh
Pretty
my gosh,
neat.
I get a lot of compliments on these, so I really appreciate it. And it's so funny because the location where I get them from here locally, I love supporting like local
Oh
business.
yeah.
And so it was fun to be able to go in there and shop. But I had seen them multiple times and no one ever got them. So when you get them and you realize they only have the one pair, it's kind of like, okay, those were meant to be for me. Because I had been in there for like 2 different eye exams and they were just sitting on the shelf. And so it's kind of funny that I get so many compliments on them because I'm like, I think they were waiting for me to buy them.
I'm down with like going all the way up there to get something like that. That's
You
awesome.
should. And when you come here, we will just go on a coffee day and
Oh
we'll
yeah.
shop for glasses. It'll be great.
Oh, I love that. And we'll talk about like your move and everything, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But as far as right now, tell everybody about who you are and in your background.
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, my name's Malika. I am a certified wedding planner turned venue owner. So, I got into this business through having my own wedding and event planning company. My event planning company will actually turn 4 in February. So, I've been doing that for 4 years, which is really exciting. And then the wedding venue we've owned for 2 years. So, we started that back in March of 2018. And so I got into this business after planning my own wedding back in 2015 and just fell in love with the idea of a coordinator. I didn't know there was a such thing as a coordinator. I thought you have a wedding planner or like your friends help you. Like I didn't
Right.
know there was like an in between. And so my own wedding is actually how I realized that that was even a role and a title. And I just fell in love with this concept of some superwoman that like comes in and saves the day after you've like planned everything already for yourself. And so that really inspired me to kind of get into the industry. And then from there, we took off. We did a ton of weddings at the venue where I got married, and there was this huge like word of mouth thing happening with all of my vendors. And so the wedding venue opportunity really came about because one of my brides was getting married at the wedding venue that we have now. And she called me and she was freaking out. She was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. The place where we're having the reception is closing. And I was just like, why? Why are they closing? They can't. It's beautiful. They haven't been open that long. And so through trying to figure out why in the world was this gorgeous place going to close down, I was able to pursue making sure that it didn't close down. And so my husband and I became the owners of that space back in 2018. We actually took over it before they officially closed. So we had a really smooth transition there. Completely rebranded it, made it our own, put our event planning touch on it, and it really took off from there. It's been incredibly successful, which I'm very, very thankful for. And now we're expanding into a new container, which is really exciting, and just, growing our business and focusing on providing an incredible space for our clients.
Oh my God. So when you first opened, how many weddings did you have that year?
Oh my goodness. So I don't have an exact number for the first year because we took over. So we took over some events they had already existing. And I do know though that in the 2 years that we've been there, we've done over 100 events. And which has been a
Whoa.
little bit of a blur. And then in 2019, we actually did 36 weddings in 2019 alone. So at the end of December, we completed 36 weddings for the year, which was really amazing.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, with having so many weddings, is there like one pattern that a bride tends to stress over that you've seen when you were working there?
Absolutely. I think that the biggest thing that I see brides stress over is trying to hone in on what they want and what other people involved in this really special day want, and feeling kind of torn and that tug between, can I do this? Am I allowed to do this? Is it acceptable to do this? But am I making mom happy? Is my best friend going to be okay giving a speech? Is this person going to be happy if I ask them to do this? I think there's this kind of internal struggle of like, I know what I want, but I don't know if that's acceptable, or if the people that I really love and care about are going to be okay with it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've seen be pretty consistent over weddings, is just kind of, not really knowing if it's okay to do what they want, which is weird because it's like, this is your special day. You should do what you want. Of
Right.
course you should. But I think there's some social norms and kind of trends that have been created that make people feel really obligated to do things that they may not necessarily want to do. Or that's where I kind of usually see the stress come in.
It's like having like this like hostess kind of thing that you have to impress and make sure everybody else is having fun, when really
Yeah.
with being a hostess at like a housewarming party, that's a little different than your own wedding. This is about you and you two getting married. That, yeah, that kind of sucks. I wish they wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah,
But that's what
definitely.
alcohol is for. Um,
Exactly. Throw a
so-
little cocktail in there. It'll be
right.
fine.
So what's your favorite part of a wedding?
Oh my gosh, I love that question. My favorite part of a wedding is actually related to that, what we were just talking about. It's that moment when the bride and the groom realize that now they can relax and have fun. And
Right.
I love seeing them come down that aisle for the recessional and come into that room. And we're usually the ones in the room with them because we like open the door for them. And I just love that moment. It just melts off. It's like, we did it. We are married. They're like making out. Like, I love that part. I'm like, yes, you did it. Like, that's the important part.
Oh, I love
Um,
that.
but I think you see a relaxation come over them. And I think that there's just this moment of like, all right, let's party, let's celebrate, let's love on each other. That's my favorite part. I think you see a shift in what they're about to experience for the rest of the evening.
That's awesome. So when a couple ends up booking with you, what does Muse at the Mill provide for them?
Oh my gosh, this is such a great question. So we try to have a really unique experience with our clients. So this is something that we actually are just implementing in 2020. So we're getting ready to start doing this. So when brides book with the new Muse at the Mill, and we'll talk about us like looking
Yeah.
at everything for sure. So when they book with the new Muse at the Mill, after they sign their contracts, they pay their deposit, we throw them a signing party. It is the coolest thing. Yes, it's so great. It's so great. I'm really excited about it. So the signing party, we had them come in. So we invite them back to the venue. So as I'm sure that you and a lot of couples know, when you come in and tour, I always recommend that you try to keep your numbers low. Group tours and people trying to throw in their opinions while you're looking at a space is very challenging. I always say three's company when it comes to a tour. You and your fiance come, check it out, give yourself time to process. Um, but that also can lead to, we just made this huge investment, we just signed a contract, but maybe maid of honor, mom, grandma, your favorite aunt, you're telling them how great this place is and you want them to see it. So I noticed in the last couple of years that a lot of times we would have people say, okay, now that I've booked, I have all these questions. Who do you recommend as a vendor? Can I bring my mom back? And so we took all of that feedback and we put that into the signing party. So they come in, we pour some wine, we'll have music playing in our office. We have a really cool office space. We have a little thank you bag for them that includes our vendor information and recommendations of who we love to work with, and we've got some cool like swag in there. And then from there, we have a sit-down conversation where we answer any questions they have. Nothing really is off limits, and we talk about the venue, measurements of the tables, just all those little questions that kind of come up. We go ahead and address those. And then we really encourage them to go ahead and bring those key players. Bring mom if she's doing the flowers. Bring grandma if she just really wants to see it because she's so happy you found a place. Bring the whole wedding party. It's like a legit party.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so we love that. I think that really shows our clients that we're invested in this experience with them. Sometimes people come for a tour and we don't see them for 12 months, and then it's time for their wedding, and now it's like, oh, hey, haven't seen you all year, so the signing party gives us an opportunity to have a personal moment with them before that gap in time to completion of their event, which usually comes significantly later.
Wow, that is like the coolest thing I've ever heard. And of course, I've never even heard of that. But the fact that you're like taking the time to make sure that they have all their questions answered and the bride and groom are walking away with much knowledge as possible, I think that is like absolutely amazing that you guys are doing that. Man,
Yeah,
how
thank
far
you.
in advance do couples normally book?
Typically, we see our clients come in just a few short weeks after they've got engaged, and the typical couple is looking about 12 months out. Every now and then, we have clients who maybe don't want to spend quite as much time planning. So maybe they have shortened the amount of time from the engagement to the wedding because they don't want as much time to make decisions. They kind of want that pressure on themselves to make those decisions. But the average amount of time that we see is a year out. So our couples usually come between, I would say, Thanksgiving through Valentine's Day. That's kind of engagement season for us. And then they'll be looking at dates that are in the fall towards the end of the year, or sometimes even exactly 12 months from when they have come in.
Awesome. I mean, so do you have multiple locations for the bride and groom to get ready?
So typically at our space, we have two getting ready suites.
Awesome.
So we have a dedicated space that's got white paint and natural white for the brides. We're thinking a lot and being really intentional about those getting ready photos for each of them. So we've really been intentional about our getting ready spaces so that they kind of have different things that, of course, photographers and the people that are going to be participating, in this day have some cool things for them as well. So at our new location, so let me go ahead. I'm going to talk about that real quick because
Of
I keep
course.
saying new location. So I just
Let's
want
do
to like
it.
make sure.
Yeah.
So we are moving in March. We've already moved our office. So we're doing tours. We're showing people the space. But on March the 1st, we're going to be opening our brand new location, which I am obsessed with. It is the space that we have like on steroids. Like it's like so much bigger. It's a second floor, a third floor. We've got 12,500 square feet of rentable space. And like amazing, right? And
Wow.
especially like you having been at our old space, there will be so many variations that are just going to really enhance the experience for our clients. So we've got, a food prep area, we've got a bar area and an outdoor patio, and just all this incredible things that we did not have at the previous space. So I'm really happy and really thankful and excited about that. So at the new space, we've been able to take all of the things that we have learned from our previous location and incorporate that into that new space so that we have an option for brides that's really addressing all of those obstacles that they typically face. There's not enough parking. There's not enough room in the bridal suite for all of my bridesmaids. There's not a TV in the groom suite, and the guys only take 5 seconds to get ready. Like all that little feedback and little things that we've seen from doing this not only 2 years as a venue owner, but 4 years as a wedding planner. I feel like at the new space, we've just dumped like everything we've learned into it so that we can, do it right.
Right. Man, 3 stories?
Yes, it's amazing. I know,
That's
it's crazy.
insane.
I know. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait for you to come and see it. And we are doing tours now, so clients can come over and see it. It's a historic mill, so we're getting to keep our same brand name and brand story, which is incredible.
Right.
But we really have a much more industrial vibe. So we're doing concrete floors. We're doing the black ring chandeliers. We have one room that still has that 100-year-old millwood flooring. So we're really getting to mix in all these elements to provide a unique space to Winston-Salem. I think there's so many barns here. I love a good barn. I love all different types of venues because I have been able to work in just so many different incredible spaces. I do think that the options in Winston-Salem specifically as a city are a little bit more limited than they are in some other areas.
Right.
And so we're wanting to do something really unique in this area that, clients can feel like they've found a really cool space. So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait.
Yeah, because the renderings online are absolutely phenomenal. I think that I saw one that was one for inside, and of course one that was outside. And the ceremony space that's drawn up looks stunning, absolutely stunning. Is there multiple spots that they could do the ceremony at?
Thank you. Yeah, so we have a couple of different options. So we'll be partnering. There's actually a Moravian wedding chapel just across the street. It's gorgeous. It's white and it has green shutters and this beautiful green lawn. And so we'll be partnering with them to provide an outdoor ceremony option. But for the brides who are not interested in being outdoors or who maybe are a little bit afraid of that and want that rain plan, we do have multiple spaces inside that will be functional for ceremony space. So we have our main ceremony space with those beautiful concrete floors and those ring chandeliers. We have a reception space. That's the one with those original wood flooring aspects. And we'll have our farm tables that we're bringing over. I know you remember the farm
Oh,
tables.
yes. Those were
um,
gorgeous.
so we'll bring the farm tables over with us, and those will all be included in the reservation. So there won't be a huge need for clients to bring in outside furniture unless they want to. We'll have a bar that they can use, farm tables, cocktail tables, chairs, and additional tables for things like food and gift tables and things like that. So we're really, wanting to not only provide space, but have everything that they need there, so they feel like it's a one-stop shopping experience.
Wow. And with you guys doing tours, are you guys maybe doing like an open house, like official open house from Muse at the Meal?
Yes, we have been having a hard time nailing down when we're going to do our grand opening because we open on March the 1st. Our first wedding is March the 7th,
Oh.
and then we have a wedding every Saturday until April 25th. And I'm just like, when are we going to have a grand opening? And, I'm so excited that we have weddings every single weekend, but I'm just like, oh God, I don't know when I could do that. And so it might wind up having to be like a Thursday evening cocktail hour or maybe even like a Sunday walkthrough. I'm not a huge fan of doing events on Sundays, but it might come to that because we have so many weddings.
Yeah. Well, if you did one on a Sunday, at least the bride and groom or the couple would be able to see what the actual wedding would look like. So you already
Yeah,
have everything set up. So that's not bad. That's not too,
exactly.
God, that's awesome. Do you have areas to do like exits? Is there a certain type of exits? I know some of them or some venues don't allow like sparklers and stuff like that. And I know at the one that you're at now, at the Muse at the Mill, that you guys allowed sparklers. This is a new one the same way.
So at the new space, because it is a really old historical building, the way that the layout of the space is, doesn't really allow for a sparkler photo, just because there's not really the best, as you know, with sparklers, the little sparks have to fall on something that's like not going to catch on fire, right?
Right.
Like that's important. So at the new space, we actually will not be allowing the sparkler exit. However, we do have some really cool areas for them to take photos in. So with the Bethania Visitor Center that's just across the road, it's really historic and just beautiful. Like I said, there's like a white picket fence, greenery. There's hiking trails over there.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be in the summertime room for like lots of lush greens and We have 2 metal silos, so that'll make for some gorgeous photos as well. So even though we don't have a sparkler exit, I think we'll be able to make up for it in those cocktail hour
Oh
photos
yeah.
and get some cool shots in there.
Yeah, it's just because you guys don't have sparkler exits, that you guys or the couples are actually able to make up something a little bit more creative. So that's even better on their end. They'll have something completely different than other people. So that's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
So what is it?
definitely.
What's something else that you guys feel that makes you stand out above another venue, just randomly?
Yeah, I think that what really makes us stand out as a venue is the fact that I am a wedding planner at heart, and my background is in event planning and assisting brides, and I can't turn that off. You can't just be
Yeah,
like
right.
wedding planner and then like, nope, now I'm a venue owner and I don't, it comes with the package. And even though we have, coordination services that our clients can add on if they get married at the space, I think that the event planning mindset is just really thoroughly infused throughout the process. We know what questions to ask on the final questionnaire. We know what questions you're wondering when you come in for a tour, because like I've been there as a planner helping clients with other planning experiences just all over North Carolina. We've been to New Jersey and Canada, and like I have been able to bring that experience with me into this line of my work. And I think sometimes when people go to venues and they learn the stories behind the owner, I think that sometimes they're stories are all just so different. And so for us, a part of our story being that I got into this through planning is just something that makes us really unique, because we as a team, it's just infused through us. We can't turn that off. We can't not help you make this a great event. We can't say, oh, well, sorry, we don't know the answer to that question because we've never planned a wedding, or like that's not our thing. It's just a part of like who we are and how we work with our clients. And I think that's something that is really valuable and really helps us to have consistently great events.
Yeah, and you're actually offering a couple, which everybody loves, a guarantee. You're offering them a guarantee that everything's going to be practically taken care of, because, like you said, you've been through it. You've done the experience with being a wedding coordinator or wedding planner. Yeah, so I think that's awesome that they basically comes with the package, and that you look out for your bride and groom no matter what, if they even bring on somebody who's a event coordinator. So is there anybody else that do you offer other vendors, or do you allow the couple to bring in offsite vendors?
Yeah, so with our catering options, we do have exclusive caterers that we work with, and that's just because we really want our clients to have the best experience possible. And we know
Yeah.
that caterers are like our team player, like they are like our other half on a wedding day. So we want to make sure that we have really quality experiences with them. But we do allow our clients to bring in any other vendor that they'd like. So thinking about photography, video, florals, hair and makeup, and things of that nature, they are absolutely able to bring anyone in that they think would be a great fit for their wedding day. Another really cool thing that we have at our new location that I'm also really excited about is on the second floor, there's a lower level to that, and we have vendor studios. So within those vendor studios, we have a florist, we have a photographer, we have a hair and makeup artist who has a studio. And so even though they're not required to work with those vendors, these are people who literally live in the space. They are there, their offices are there,
Wow.
they're giving consultations there, they know the space. And so we don't limit those vendors to being able to work with clients that are getting married somewhere else, and we don't limit our brides and our grooms to working with our vendors, because they can bring in outside vendors too. But how cool is it that if you want to get your hair and makeup done with someone, in our space, they're on the second floor, they're right there, they're there every day. So even though they can bring in outside vendors, I do think that we will see an increase in our clients experiencing kind of us as a whole tribe. So that's going to be so cool. We have amazing women up there, and I just cannot wait. Because I really do envision us just like all doing weddings together, because we have really been intentional about who's up there, and who's going to provide a quality experience, not just this like cookie cutter, all-inclusive package. We don't even offer that. Like, we don't have an all-inclusive package. But it's like, we also have amazing people up on the second floor who are going to make a custom wedding experience for you. And it's going to be quality and you're going to love it because all of these women are so amazing. So yes, they can bring in outside vendors, but also we've got some vendors inside of there too if they want to use them.
Like, holy crap. I think my mind is actually, I think it's trying to process all of the awesome stuff that you have got going on. Like, man, that's such a good idea. You're like a mall for weddings.
Yeah, seriously, it's like a wedding mall. That is the best description of that I have ever heard. I'm totally using that during my next tour.
You can do it. You have my permission. Did
Awesome.
you have a wedding was there a wedding that you feel like was one of the most funnest or the most creative that you can share with us?
Oh yeah, I love when the bride and the groom bring in personal things to them. That's such a strong part of their love story. I love when people bring dogs to weddings.
Yes.
Like, we had a dog of honor. Like, oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. He had on like a bandana and it was like dog of honor and like calligraphy, and he had like flowers. Just like, I love that. So to me, the most fun, the most creative weddings are where they have really taken their love story, how they met. Some of these dogs are like when they were like boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And so I love it. And I think the most creative experiences are when they infuse parts of their story into the day. That's my favorite.
Oh my God. What was like a time that you feel like you went really above? Because I know this is going to be super easy for you, but above and beyond for a couple.
That I try so hard, like every wedding, to just make sure. So I'm trying to think of a specific example or one that really sticks out to me the most. That's a good one. Like, I've cut wedding cakes. I've like
Oh.
found backup like vendors real quick. I've
Yeah, you list them off because
bridal stuff. It's just, I think that the reason it's so hard for me to answer that question is because I think that every bride and groom deserves a team of vendors that are willing to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I've like helped brides like scrub coffee stains out of their train. And when you have that mentality as a vendor, whether you are a venue owner, a venue staff member on a team, a wedding planner, a photographer, I think when you have that mindset that you're my client and I'm going to take care of you, and there's no job that's beneath me because you've entrusted me to make sure this is an incredible day. I think it's just something at every wedding that happens that you're like, I went above and beyond, and like you really give it your all.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to think of a very specific example because I just think that, I don't know, I try to do that every time. I can
That's
think of like a
fantastic
lot of
though.
different things.
She's got a Rolodex, man, a whole Rolodex of things that she's done. So that's fantastic. I think I'm going to start like asking everybody, especially with different areas of wedding planning. So, how important to you, as I guess the wedding venue owner, and then being a certified wedding coordinator, how important is it to have like the best team with you for your wedding day?
It is extremely important. Your team and the vendors that you have working with you make or break the experience.
Right.
I think that when you have people, like I said, that have that vision that this is all, we're team players here, we're working together. Yes, your contract is different than mine. Yes, maybe you traveled here versus I am here all the time. I think that having a strong team is what actually allows the bride and groom to be a guest at their own wedding day. All hands on deck. Everybody is here for the greater good of this day going smoothly is what's going to really make it great. It's not like, oh, I hope your photography is going well over there. I'm like worried about my cake delivery, so I don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm in your shot. I'm just delivering my cake, right? Like, that kind of attitude or that kind of view towards the day, I think causes the hiccups. That's when you get the start and stop, or when you get those kind of obstacles that you have to overcome. But when everybody's like, we're here for you two, we love you guys as our clients, and no matter what happens today, we're all going to work together. I've had photographers helping me hold doors open. I've had one time, one of my favorite stories is the guy who does valet for us was helping the florist sweep flowers and like sprinkling rose petals on the aisle. Like,
Oh
I
man.
love that, because we're all here to make sure this day goes great. And I think when a team has that mentality, that's when the bride and groom are just like overwhelmed with love and
Right.
peace and like fun and
Right.
celebration.
Yeah, because there are, and never to name names, but there are some vendors that I've heard of that if they feel like when they're hired, it's their wedding, not the couple's wedding. So they look at it as selfishly as like, I'm going to do it my way. This is all about me because they've hired me. And I'm like, come on now. We got to be here
Yeah.
for them. That was
Yes,
perfect.
for sure.
Oh,
I think so. I think that's a thing that as a community and wedding vendors and venue owners alike, because like as a venue owner too, I think it could be really easy to be like, I literally don't care because right? It's like I
right.
unlocked the doors, the lights are on, the air is on, the space is clean. I care not, right? But I think it could be so easy in the role that I'm in to be really detached from the experience. And there's a lot of vendors that have what feels like a detached role, right? Like maybe you did just deliver the cake, but you also really put your heart into making it beautiful and making it taste good. Or, maybe you are just dropping off the flowers, but you spent your time and your creative energy. So I love just seeing all the vendors play well together, love on each other, be excited. I think that's when the bride and groom just have the best day ever. So
Amen.
it's a choice though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. So give everybody like a really good, fun or funny fact about you.
Oh, I like this one. A funny fact about me. Um, okay, so I have two dogs. I have a golden doodle who is like 65 pounds. His name's Winston. And then I
Oh.
just got another dog. So we have a little tiny dog, and his name is Boots. He's a Cavapoo, and he's really small. So he's only like, I think maybe 15 pounds because he's getting kind of fat. So maybe he's like 15 pounds now.
So he's a King Cavalier and a oh
Yes. Yes. And so the funny fact though is that they're like legit my children. Like, I love these animals. I am like their mom. I walk around the house. I like talk to them like they're my kids. When they put their toys everywhere, I'm like, no, come on, guys, we're cleaning this up. Like, so they're like, in my mind, I'm like a mom and I have two children, and they just happen to have fur and not be able to speak English, but it's cool.
it's fine. Is
It's
Boots
fine.
the one that gets a lot of the toys out? Because we have a King Cavalier and his name's Finley, and he gets the
Oh,
toys out everywhere. I'm like, come on, dude.
it's funny. So Booth actually takes things and moves them to other places. He relocates things. And I'll always be scared that he's going to eat them. So Winston, he eats. He has eaten like underwear and like full on like washcloths. Like, we've had so many issues with Winston just consuming, versus Booth just wants to put it somewhere else. Like, he'll like go get a pair of socks and take them upstairs and come back. Like, he just wants to move it around. He doesn't want to do anything with it. But I do love my dogs very much. I think that's a fun fact for sure. Because
Of course.
I'm totally a dog person.
I haven't seen any pictures of Boots at all.
Oh my gosh. I will send you some Boots pictures and he will just make your day.
What kind of color is he?
He's black and he has white feet.
Oh
So
my
that's where he got
God.
his name. We actually did not name him. We got him from someone who could not keep him anymore because they were traveling all the time. And he was one when we got him, and he just turned one in November. So he's a little bit over one, but he's so sweet and so snuggly. My husband's family has been making fun of me because they're saying that Boots is the favorite. And it's really hurtful. I'm like, no, I love both of my children equally. Thank you very much.
The other one's Winston is starting to be the redhead stepchild. Let's admit it. Let's go
They
ahead and
keep
just put
saying
that.
that, and I'm like, no, that's not true.
Oh man, I literally could talk about the dogs all
Yes,
day.
me too.
Man, so
Totally.
what would be like a really great piece of advice for a couple who is stressed out right now about planning their wedding? What would you want to say to them?
I would say to them that this is about you. This is about the fact that you love each other. And this is the fact that you want to walk alongside each other for the rest of your lives. And that you are going to be with each other and probably not the people that are stressing you out
Oh, that's good.
24/7,
Right.
right? And I just one of my best friends just got engaged. And she's like, "What is the one piece of advice you have for me?" And I'm like, "You have to do what you want." And I said, "People are going to tell you what to do. People that you didn't even think were capable of like bossing you around are going to be like, "No, don't do that." And I said, "You've got to talk with your fiance about what you guys want, and you have to stick to that, because if not, you will get to the end of this thing and it will be for everybody else. All the money you spent will be on everyone else. You like won't even eat your own wedding food, and you will just be in this blur of an event." um and so I think that's my one piece of advice is like, this is about you. This is your event. If you want to do something, find a way to make it happen. You can't please everyone. That's a thing that is in marriage as well as on a wedding day. And
Right.
so, like, hey, why not start early with adopting that as like how you go through this marriage, right? Like, we're going to put each other first. I think it's such a good foot to start on with not only planning, but after you're married too.
Right, because you're going home with that one person, so you have to deal with them afterwards. You don't have to deal with the family. You can easily just walk away, ignore their phone calls, whatever. But you're once that certificate is signed, you really do need to focus on like the two of you. Don't be, yeah.
100%.
Oh my God. How can people find you? Because I know after this, everybody's gonna be like, all right, I gotta get a hold of Malika and we gotta get together on Muse at the Mill. And so how can everybody get a hold of you?
So you can visit our website at www.museatthemill.com. That has all the information about our new location. Once we move, all of the website information will also be updated with pictures and layouts and information there. You can also follow us at Muse at the Mill. On Instagram, we have some really amazing photos. You'll even see some from Autumn on there. Um, and then if you would like to follow me personally, just with information about being more intentional about planning, I also do some really cool coaching services, and I do have a bridal coaching option. So if brides are like, hey, I just need to pick someone's brain, I just need a professional opinion, maybe I don't need a planner, but I just need like an hour of someone's like time to know that I'm doing this right and that I can do this without being stressed. You can follow me at Starnes and Co. And check out some of that too, no matter where you're getting married.
Dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You have thought about every damn thing. You need to be like this guru for
Oh
weddings.
my gosh.
Oh
Thank you so
man.
much. I
That's
really
really
appreciate
awesome.
that.
God, well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so very, very much. You've like given me so much information. I can't even imagine what the brides and grooms and couples are thinking right now, like how to absorb all of this in. So thank
Okay.
you so much for coming on here.
Thank you. I'm so thankful. I love what you're doing. I think this is such an incredible resource for brides and vendors. And I think this is just so incredible what you're doing. I think you're such a wonderful human, and that this is just speaks so much to your heart and who you are. And I'm very grateful. Thank you for allowing me to join you today.
God, you get me all choked up. All right, we're going to get off